The next device that we are going to look at, which is very useful in communication systems, is variable attenuators. Now, when you make a link design, what typically you do is you always give a margin for future cuts, fiber cuts, and so on. But you always say there is, let's give a margin of 3 dB or 5 dB in attenuation. But if there is no actual attenuation of 3 dB or 5 dB, you will still not be satisfying the link design. So you will always have to put these variable attenuators and keep adjusting these attenuation values so that your link budget is satisfied. So the way this attenuator would work is it's you basically take two fibers, in fact two connectors, and let's say you have the light coming out of the fiber like this. Now, depending on where you are placing the next fiber, you will collect only a certain fraction of light. For example, if your second fiber is placed very close to the first fiber, then all the light that is transported that's diverging from the second fiber will get collected by the first fiber will get collected by the second fiber. So just by adjusting the spacing between the fibers, you can make an attenuator. So I'll show you how this is done. So this is actually a variable optical attenuator. So here you see that all what it has is two spacers. So let's say these are the two optical, I want to introduce a variable attenuation in a link, and this is let's say one side of the link which I am connecting here, and let's say this is the other fiber, the other side of the link, again with FC APC connectors. So this is getting connected here. Okay, so I have made a small link here with a variable attenuator in between, right? So all what it requires is a mechanism to change the spacing between the fibers. So here is a mechanism. So as I rotate this, the space between, it's not visible here. So what I can feel is that the space, the fibers are moving away, right? The space between the fibers the space between the fibers increase, thereby allowing the second fiber to collect only lesser and lesser light from the first fiber, right? And this particular variable attenuator, it says that it goes anyway from 0 to 30 dB. So the largest spacing would correspond to 30 dB, and if I put the screw back, so this is, so as I increase the spacing, the attenuation goes on increasing. Of course, this is not calibrated, but you could actually use a power meter, and you could use a calibrator. So typically for such applications, you use what is called as a tap coupler or a 99:1 coupler. A coupler whose coupling ratio is designed to be 99:1, so that the 1% power you can use for tapping the power in the main line. So usually use the tap coupler this way. So you have a fiber link and you want to know how much is the power in the link without disturbing the link. So wherever you want, you would actually put a tap coupler which will take 1% of the power, and 99% will go back to the original link. So this is a tap coupler. You have versions of these variable attenuators with power meter attached to it also, so that you don't really have to use a tap coupler. The next important device that typically is used to control the polarization is a fiber polarizer, and the most commonly used polarizer is a metal clad fiber polarizer. So how does this metal clad polarizer work? So what you do is you typically have the core of the fiber, and this is the cladding of the fiber, So what is done is you polish the cladding of the fiber such that in this region you polish it. So this ought to be the cladding, but the cladding is polished such that you almost reach the core in a specific section of the fiber, and in that region you coat the fiber with metal. Okay, any metal. Typically silver is used for this purpose. Why are you coating with a metal? But we know from our basic electromagnetics that your input, let's say your light that is propagating through the fiber has both the polarizations, right? Let's say TE and TM polarization, transverse electric and transverse magnetic polarization. And then when this light reaches this metal, and you know that the boundary conditions in the metal will allow only perpendicular polarization, right? So at this point, all the parallel polarization gets attenuated because the metal cannot support, metal surface, metal dielectric interface cannot support parallel polarization. So what comes out is only perpendicular polarization. T polarization is not supported. So if you have a metal surface here, it will support only this polarization, it won't support this polarization. So as the light goes into the fiber, the polarization in this direction gets supported, the polarization in this direction does not get supported. So when it goes out, you will have only one polarization coming out. So this is called as a polished fiber half block. It is coated with a metal, and again the whole arrangement looks like this. It's a packaged polarizer on which is a single input single output device, and this arrangement works very well as a polarizer. The next device that we need to look at are polarization controllers. So we have seen how to polarize light. Now can we control the polarization? So in a fiber which has a circular cylindrical symmetry, the cross section is circular. So there is no specific polarization. We say when we did the scalar wave approximation, we say that the LP01 modes can be supported in LP01X and LP01Y polarizations. But what happens is when you bend the fiber, so this is the core of a bent fiber. So what really happens is the refractive index profile, which was supposed to be the refractive index profile which was supposed to be like this, when the fiber gets bent, so when the fiber actually gets bent, the light that is propagating through the fiber is now experiencing effectively a higher index in the lower region and lower index in the higher region. Simply because when we bend it, there is some kind of stress introduced, and so the refractive index profile, instead of being uniform, it sees a slightly changed refractive index profile, and because of this, the degeneracy in polarization is broken. The two different polarizations, the orthogonal polarizations, will effectively see a slightly different refractive index at the bent region. And the bend induced birefringence is given by NEX minus NEY, which is C, which is a constant, times B by R the whole square, where B is the outer radius of the fiber, including the cladding, and R represents the radius of curvature of the fiber, bent fiber. This constant is dependent on the elastic properties. We are talking about the change in refractive index, and this is about 0.133 at 633 nanometer. So how do you make a polarization controller with this? It simply means that if I know I have to bend, I know the exact bend radius now to generate an effective index change between the X polarization and the Y polarization. You know that, for example, in linear polarization, there is no in linear polarization, let's say a linear polarization in an arbitrary direction, in this case 45 degree here, you know that the x component of polarization and the y component are oscillating in the same phase. Okay, but in a circular polarization, you know that the x component and the y component are oscillating 90° out of phase. So how do you bring in this phase difference between x and y? So the way to bring in the phase difference between x and y is by introducing bending. You know, bend induced now birefringence produces a delta n effective, and that brings in a relative phase difference between the x polarization and y polarization, and that changes the polarization state of the output. So all what you need to do is to bend the fibers carefully with a specific radius such that the desired phase difference can be produced. So polarization controllers are made with basically 3 coils. You have lambda by 4 coil, which means that the radius is such that it introduces a effective path difference of lambda by 4 or phase difference of pi by 2. Then there is a lambda by 2 coil. So this is your equivalent of quarter wave plate. This is a half wave plate. This is another quarter wave plate. It's equivalent of quarter wave plate, right? So you know that a quarter wave plate introduced between 2 half wave plates can generate any polarization, or it can convert from any polarization to any polarization. So this is all what is necessary. So what a polarization controller actually looks like this. So you have these 3 wave plates. Inside this, you can see if I open the screw, I will be able to show you that the fiber is kept bent. Okay, so you see the fiber is kept bent here, and there are certain number of turns in each bend, and that also influences the birefringence, because it is that influences the phase difference, because it is delta n times L that decides the phase difference between any x and y polarizations. One of that is, this one is quarter wave plate, this is half wave plate, and this is quarter wave plate. So you can turn from one end to the other, and that allows the fiber to actually undergo this bending process, and that's how you will convert from any polarization to any other polarization. So you'll have to do it, there is no marking, or there is no dial which says that for this polarization I need to keep it at this position. You will have to do this, twist this polarization controller systematically to get a desired polarization state. Okay. So twisting these paddles produce bend induced by birefringence, and that can give you the desired polarization output.